Commissioner Anderson.
Okay, all right, I'll call this meeting to order then. The Special Committee on the Criminal Justice Complex for November 19th. Madam Clerk, if you'd like to proceed with the agenda.
Each member is acknowledging that they are attending the meeting via Zoom and that they are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated when I call your name. Commissioner Varga.
Here.
Commissioner Marecki.
Here.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman.
Here.
Commissioner Ware.
Present.
Chair Anderson.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. I have no remarks other than the fact that there's quite a bit of work progressing on the site. I apologize. I thought everyone was on the mailing list for what the updates that come from the commission, or not the commission, just attorney, but from Carter. He had sent that out last night, and so you should have it in your inbox now. So I apologize for that oversight. I didn't realize not everyone received it. So we'll make sure that's corrected for the future. But anyway, that's all I have right now. We will proceed to, if James Heath is here. Are you present?
I am,
James?
Commissioner. I am, Commissioner.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Okay, would you like to give us the report?
We need to approve the minutes.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Well, let's. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
Support. Marecki.
Been moved and supported to approve the minutes from the October 22nd meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Seeing none opposed, they're approved. And we'll move on, I think, to new business, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. James Heath, Corporation Counsel. I'd also like to bring to the table Victoria Ennis-Edwards and Jay Shandor from CGL who are here. And we also have Carter Fisher to keep us honest. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before the committee to talk about something other than votes. I appreciate this opportunity. Since our last meeting towards the end of October, there's not been a whole lot new to report. What we did include in your packet is a financial report that I know Mr. Abbo was interested in reviewing, and we are in the process of trying to schedule a meeting with Mark as well as folks from M&B to go over this and also look at some of the changes about how we might report things in a way that meets your fiscal analyst needs. But you do have a status report, and we'll be able to continue to discuss that with Mark as we go forward.
James, I did want to mention, I apologize for interrupting, sure. But I wanted to mention that Mark, I spoke to him probably 10 or 15 minutes ago, and he said he'd probably be about 5 minutes late getting on the Zoom call.
I'm on, Commissioner. Thank you.
Oh, you are? Very good. Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Go ahead, James.
And so I know Tracy Kelly's is if she hasn't already, is going to be reaching out to schedule a meeting with the budget folks and Mark so that we can make sure that we're reporting things out in a way that this committee can use it most efficiently. We were not able to give you a full report last meeting regarding our inclusion efforts. We've got Victoria, who's here today, who can give you an update on some of those things. I've got Jay, who can talk to you a little bit about the construction progress that we've made over the last 3.5 weeks or so. We've not had any change orders submitted to Chairwoman Bell and then on to this committee, Commissioner Anderson. Since our last meeting, we do continue to have discussions with ROC on outstanding issues. We're We had a meeting yesterday where we discussed mothers' rooms throughout the facility for those employees who are nursing and need to have those rooms available to them. So we're working on making sure we have the appropriate number throughout the facility. We're dealing with issues related to signage at the complex, as well as other change items or potential change items or project items that we will need to address. But those issues have not come to a head such that we have anything formal to report to you about cost changes or anything like that. We are moving into, and certainly by our next meeting, we will be well on the way towards progress on our FF&E purchases and determining which items and from whom we'll be purchasing furnitures, fixtures for the facility. But that's not been solidified yet. But within the next month or so, at our next committee meeting, we'll probably have a more robust update for you on that. So with that, I'll ask Jay to kind of give an update on where we are from a construction standpoint, and then ask Victoria to talk a little bit about business inclusion efforts.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, James.
Good morning.
Victoria, welcome back, Victoria.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here today.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Just give you a site update on kind of the status of the construction progress out there. And as you guys can see, if you've driven around, it's still moving as quickly as they can, trying to get weather tight. The current progress on the entire site, we're about 38% complete. The site activity, they still continue with underground work for DTE utilities and the hookup of the gas meter and the gas regulators. We've installed the underground storage tanks for the diesel generators, which I believe I mentioned in the last meeting. They'll be pouring the slab around those within the coming days. The ADF, the Adult Detention Facility, currently they are placing the steel cells on the second floor, and the mechanical, electrical, fire protection above the ceiling is ongoing on the second through the fifth floors. The third, fourth, and fifth floors, the cells have been installed and been placed, and they are beginning to hook up the back of the cells for the water and sewage and electrical. The 8-man cells, they have currently are continuing to work on the erection of the panels for the 8-man cells. Those are a little bit more time consuming. They don't come in pre-made. They have to be welded in place. So those take a little bit more time. The roof curbs are going in on the ADF, as well as the vapor barrier to protect the roof. And the roof curbs are what the mechanical equipment will sit on. So those are being completed. Within the next month, they'll have the air handling units placed on that roof. The JDF, the Juvenile Detention Facility, is currently about 15% complete, and they have began erecting the exterior panels for those two dorm areas. The Sheriff's Office and Prosecutor, we're at 26% complete. The framing of the walls continues between the second and the fourth floor, along with the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing rough-ins. And they've begun the roof insulation and the vapor barrier in those areas. The court, it's the 7-story building you see out there is about 41% complete. They completed all the slab on grades. They are beginning the installation of the curtain wall which is the glazing that you will see from the exterior on the Russell side of the facility. And CMU walls for the stairs, elevators, and the holding cells around the courtrooms continues on floors 1 through 3. The last building, the maintenance building, they are going to get that one dried in and working on the roof. We're only about 16% complete there. And then the central utility plan is approximately 54% complete. And they are completing the roof, vapor barrier, TPO roofing on that, along with the installation and placement of the boilers within the next month. Other than that, things are progressing quickly. So if anybody has any questions on the construction side, I'd be happy to answer.
Jay, I was just wondering if you could tell me, is the in closing to allow the winter, what would you say the overall progress is on that? Are they going to be able to get that done? Go ahead.
They have actually installed a fire retardant barrier on all of the windows, and that is going to keep the heat in. They should have the curtain wall on the courts up, but that is what they are trying to complete. Yesterday, we saw a little bit of progress towards looking at the schedule, and they progressed the buildings according to the schedule. And I believe correct me if I'm wrong, James or Carter, but by the end of December, they should have all areas enclosed. But the actual vapor barrier they put in, and they're going to put in temporary heaters to keep the areas warm, because they have to keep the masonry units warm. They have to keep the grout warm. You know, they can't do it under a certain temperature. So they are taking all the precautions necessary to continue work.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have to come up with some type of ventilation system to keep the burn off or the fumes from the heating, because are these like temporary heating units? You said they're not long term. They're
correct.
Like
yeah,
portable
temporary.
Kerosene or something.
Right, they're temporary, and we're hoping by December we'll be on a temporary gas service from DTE.
Good, okay. Are there any members of the committee that have any questions at this point?
If I could, Commissioner Anderson, Jay, could you just give an update on the discussions we've been having regarding the change to the overall schedule for the project? I know that was something we briefly on last month.
Yeah, we received a schedule update from ROC, and they had about 8 weeks and 2 days that were affected by the COVID. And then they had a 3-week delay, I believe, from the precast plant, because they had some operational problems getting the precast going in the schedule that they had determined at the beginning. So they have presented that to us. We're reviewing it along with the county. We've come up with some internal questions. We're asking for responses back from ROC on that. But that's kind of the update on the schedule. Does that answer the questions, James?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. And so we'll hopefully by the time we have our next meeting, Commissioner Anderson, we will have kind of buttoned up and come to a resolution on that. But just wanted you to have an update because we had discussed it last week.
Okay. Thank you. Any commissioners? Any questions with any commissioners?
I just have a quick question.
Yes.
James, when you talked about your moving in to talk about signage and all that, do you have to go to the zoning board to Detroit to determine those things, or do you pretty much have carte blanche?
Yeah, no. So we do not with respect to signage. Is that Commissioner Marecki?
Yes.
Okay. And we do not with respect to signage. So when I say that we're having discussions, we are those are kind of internal with Bedrock in terms of what signage we're going to have on the building, signage throughout the complex. There's a sign that we're referring to as a monument, which is going to be kind of the main sign that denotes the complex, but also we're discussing issues with respect to signage for the individual buildings, so members of the public will know where to go. You're trying to go to the prosecutor's office, we don't want you to end up at the sheriff's department. And so those sorts of things. At this point, we are dealing with the city on that or zoning. One thing that we will be discussing with the city, the fire department, and also other appropriate agencies is the address situation for the complex. Presently, we've got a single address, but we are discussing internally whether we want to have multiple addresses per building for the facility. But that raises a whole lot of questions regarding safety and fire and safety issues that we need to discuss. It's not as simple of a project as one might think. And so we're working through our options on that. And we will probably, I mean, that's not a huge priority with respect to the construction, obviously. So we'll probably be some point in the spring before we have a real substantive update for you with respect to that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other members of the committee have any questions at this point? Okay. Seeing none, I guess we're ready for Victoria's report.
All right. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I will apologize in advance if I go over any details James may have shared in my absence at the last meeting. I'd like to just paint kind of a whole picture for you, so there might be a little bit of an overlap in information.
Sure.
One of the biggest things that was a huge success is the boot camp. The fact that they are in a second phase of the boot camp where we are with the project is great, because not only did you have successful participants on the last go round, they've been able to expand it and tweak it where they have an additional, it's actually 25, 15 of them are on the CJC, another 10 are on the Hudson's project. But why this one is really just the big, we're really, really excited. This is the phase of the boot camp where not only have they started the apprenticeship work, they have been brought onto the project as apprentices, getting paid, and then you have a large number of them that are being picked up as full-time employees by the primes. For example, Motor City has already hired 4 of their boot camp participants as full-time participating on the project. They have 2 more right now that they're working with the possibility of them becoming full-time employees with Motor City. Same thing with Limbach and some of the other ones, Barton Mallow, and their different trades. So what that does is it illustrates when you literally not only commit in the community, recruiting from that community, training them, and then it is giving them employment. So it's really great to be able to see the concept, the start, and see it all come together through fruition to the end where you now have people who are getting paychecks on the job. And when this job is finished, they now have a skill set and a relationship and employment to move on to other projects that the primes are working on. So we are very, very happy about that. After this one, there will be an additional one, and I will keep you posted as those boot camps come up. That has been really well. I also want to talk about the upward trend. About 3 reports ago, we looked at the overall participation for Wayne County workforce at only about 34%. A lot of that was not only COVID, but right now where we were with the trades that were going to be on site. A lot of those trades were very small. We had a smaller group. The last report, which was the one that we sent, I do believe James shared that information with you at the October meeting. We're trending now approximately 41% for Wayne County participation because the trades are opening up. not only are the trades opening up, meaning we have more trades on site, there's a wider breadth within the trade. So now that the bones are up, they're starting to enclose it. Again, you heard them talk about being enclosed and heating. Once you can heat it and keep the temperature, you can bring on the next level. So you got masons coming on. You got masonry and where you have more Wayne County participants. So there is a great upward trend with that. I'm very confident that meeting that residency goal is not going to be an issue. We're also ramping back up. There are a few small bids. Remember, we talked about the bids being broken up into chapters, and each chapter or each book has chapters within it. So bid pack number 4, chapter 3, which is building specialties, some of that had been pushed off. Barton Malow is looking to open that up and start that bid process within the next 2 weeks. So they're going to be looking for specialty items such as fire extinguishers, fire alarms, specialty lockers will be involved. And I'm proud to say right now on the contract referral and the bid list that we have generated with Barton Malow through all of our outreach, out of the 7 that we have on our list, 6 out of the 7 are either women and or minority and or county based. So we are done very well in the specialty area as far as the recruitment. So we're excited for that one to go out. And then I know James spoke a little bit about FF&E. We are still sitting down trying to strategize, but I want you to know kind of the thought behind it. We are looking at not only what we're buying, how it will work, and then who we can get to provide it. So anybody who has come to any of the outreach workshops, we're looking at either the actual tangible goods that they can provide, as well as the service that they can provide, and ensure that all of those over this whole 1.5 years of outreach that we have done have an opportunity to possibly, or at least bid on the projects, and breaking down the FF&E small enough that we get a wide breadth and opportunity for our local businesses, our women, minority, and small businesses. So that is part of our strategy. And we have started with that, and probably within the next, 3 to 4 weeks, next time maybe we report out, we will have something more concrete. But understanding that that is a large part of the goal is to make sure, and this is an opportunity, you know, the cherry on the cake, that these smaller businesses do get a chance to be suppliers on this. So we are, again, excited about that as well. And we are on time and task. We are also coordinating and making sure that the owner's advocate is working with some of the smaller businesses, and that they will help make sure that we have a robust list for participation of this.
Very good, very good. Sounds very promising as far as representation of Wayne County residents and Detroit residents, of course. I did want to back up just a little bit, Victoria. I don't think it's on your portion of the presentation. I appreciate that, pretty thorough, and we missed you at the last meeting, and I look forward to the updates on as we progress. I did want to ask, I believe at the last meeting, you know, James, I believe we talked maybe a little bit, or your presentation had a little bit about these the county's efforts to secure funding from the Indigent Defense Commission for helping to fund and assist with the project. And I don't think you mentioned that just now, but at the last meeting, I just wondered if you could give an update on that.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity on that, Commissioner. So since the last meeting, we worked very closely with CGL to provide the state with all of the indigent defense eligible portions of the project. So primarily attorney meeting rooms, throughout the courthouse, as well as in the adult detention facility. So MIDC has yet to approve our plan for the next fiscal year, for this fiscal year, And so that construction portion is part of that plan. What I think is probably most likely, Commissioner, to happen is that the MIDC will approve the, I'll call it the more traditional indigent defense part of our compliance plan, and will likely try to put us through some of our paces with respect to the construction. But the proposal that we submitted was for just over $6 million for the entire cost of the things that we believe to be MIDC eligible, and we continue to be in discussions with them on that. And so that's the update that I have. The next meeting for the MIDC, I believe, is December 15th. But as I said, my most educated guess is that they will not act on the construction portion of our request even then. So we continue to talk about it.
You said you don't expect them to act on it at that time, but
that's correct. I believe that what will probably end up happening is that they will approve the portion of our project which goes to for indigent defense services, but that they will table the construction portion of our request, and that we'll have to have further discussion. As you know, as you can imagine, this is kind of unusual for them to receive this, and I'd be honest, wouldn't be honest if I told you there probably was a little bit of sticker shock for them to receive a $6 million bill, but we believe we have the better of the argument that these things ought to be paid for. Clearly, there'll be some level of negotiation with the state, but it's very important to us. We feel strongly that we are responding in the design of the facility. We were responding to the mandates that the state put on us, and that they would have paid for many of these changes if we were to put them into the existing facilities. It just didn't make good sense for anyone to make significant changes to facilities that were not going to be in use for more than a year or two. And so we will continue to press that argument. And as I said last month, if there gets to be a point in which we think that you as chairman of this committee, who we report to, might be helpful in our arguments, I will not be bashful about driving you up to Lansing and putting you in front of a microphone.
All right. Yeah. I appreciate that update. And let's see, I'm trying to, I didn't mean to cut Victoria off. I apologize. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add, Victoria?
No, that was pretty much the breadth of my report. I just wanted to make sure if any other commissioners had questions, that I was available to answer those questions.
Yeah. I'll do that now. Commissioners, any other committee members have any questions for Ms. Edwards?
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment.
Sure.
I really appreciate all of these updates.
Commissioner Varga, hold on just a second. Could someone, anyone that's not speaking or presenting, please mute their sound? Okay, thank you. That was the feedback we were getting. Go ahead, Commissioner Varga.
Thank you. I very much appreciate the reports that we get. They're very thorough, and we learn a lot. I was able to go by and check it out on the outside, and it is coming along really well. But I just wanted to thank you all for doing a great job on this and for keeping us updated. And not only that, but with so much detail. So you appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I would add to that. I would add to that as well. Thanks, James, Carter, and Jay and Victoria, all of you, for the combined effort to to keep us posted on what's happening there and for those reports. It would actually be a little appreciated if we could get the reports a little earlier than the night before, but I know sometimes that happens. But if there was any way that we could get it a couple of days before the meeting, that would be great.
We'll be turning over a new leaf in the new year, Commissioner.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. One thing I did want to mention, and I know the members of the committee understand this because you've been looking at the orders, but the state health department orders did not preclude continuing construction work on the project. And so we are going to be continuing in that process, just in case anyone had any questions. The contractors on site are, they live in the same world that we do. And so they are affected by COVID, just as any other workplace might be, but they continue to employ pretty rigorous standards with respect to testing and monitoring the workers on site. And so at this point, we are not having any sort of major issues that would impact work going on, but we will continue to keep you updated on that.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Are there any other questions from commissioners that are on the committee members? Are there any other commissioners that are present that have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, I guess we can move the agenda, and thank you all for being here for the presentation and the updates. Like as was said before, you do a thorough job and we appreciate that. I think it keeps us all on the same page, and we all, I think, will come through this in a better way, I believe, since we are all communicating. Madam Clerk, if you'd like to take us to the next item on the agenda.
E, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
We haven't received any, or I haven't seen any. Have you received any, Madam Clerk? Any submissions? I have not received any. I will, we can move on to the next item.
Comments?
Is there anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment or have a question regarding what we've covered at this committee meeting or what we cover? If you'd like to speak, please be recognized, or we'll recognize you. Madam Clerk, if you could turn everyone on, if there's anyone that's muted right now.
Okay, everyone is unmuted.
Okay. Is there anyone out there from the public that would like to make a comment or have a question? Is there anyone out there that would like to make a comment or have a question? Is there anyone from the public wishing to make a comment or have a question? I've asked 3 times, and Madam Clerk, were there any cards or anything submitted, any emails committed or sent that you received that they wish to be recognized?
No, I have not received anything.
Okay. Seeing that we have it, we'll move on to the next item.
Adjournment.
Move adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by, I believe that was Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Right.
Support, Marecki.
Marecki support. We moved and supported. This one's committee meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Have a great and safe holiday, everyone.
Everyone do the same.
Have a good holiday. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.